Before I start, if you've ever gone through betrayal or just love raw, real stories like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And when this story ends, I genuinely want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Because what I went through still doesn't feel real sometimes. The message came in at 11:42 p.m. I remember the exact time because I hadn't been sleeping well for weeks, and the glow of my phone had become my new normal. I picked it up, expecting another spam notification or work email. Instead, I saw her name. "We need to talk. I'm not coming home tonight." That was it. No explanation. No apology. Just a sentence that felt like a door quietly closing somewhere deep inside my chest. I stared at the screen longer than I should have, waiting for the 3 dots to appear. They didn't. I told myself not to overreact. She'd stayed late at work before. Deadlines, meetings, last-minute projects. It wasn't new. But something about that message, it felt final. Looking back, the signs had been there for months. At first, it was small things. She started taking her phone everywhere, even to the bathroom. Notifications would light up her screen, and she'd flip it over before I could glance at it. When I'd ask who it was, she'd shrug. "Work stuff. You wouldn't care." She used to tell me everything, even the boring details about her day. When that stopped, I noticed. But I convinced myself it was normal. People change. Marriage settles into routine. Then came the late nights. At first, once a week. Then twice. Then almost every other day. "New project," she said. "My boss is pushing hard." I remember laughing once, trying to lighten the mood. "Your boss sounds like he needs a life." She didn't laugh back. Instead, she just said, "He's ambitious. That's why he's successful." There was something in her tone. Admiration, maybe. I ignored it. I ignored a lot of things back then. The first real crack came 2 weeks before that message. We were sitting on the couch, barely speaking, the TV playing something neither of us was watching. She was texting, smiling faintly at her screen. I don't know what made me say it. "Who's making you smile like that?" She didn't even look up. "Just someone from work." Something twisted in my chest. "You've been smiling at your phone a lot lately." That's when she looked at me. Not with guilt. Not even with defensiveness. With irritation. "You're reading too much into things," she said. "Not everything is about you." I remember going quiet after that. Not because I agreed, but because I didn't recognize the person sitting next to me anymore. The night she didn't come home, I didn't sleep at all. I sat in the dark, replaying every conversation, every moment I'd brushed aside. By morning, I made a decision. I drove to her office. I didn't plan it. My hands just moved, my mind racing ahead of me. I told myself I just wanted clarity. Something real instead of the endless guessing. When I got there, her car wasn't in its usual spot. But his was. I didn't know his car before that day. But I'd seen him once. Tall, confident, the kind of man who fills a room without trying. Her boss. The same one she defended. The same one she admired. I waited. An hour passed. Then another. And then I saw them. They didn't see me at first. They walked out together, close enough that their shoulders brushed. He said something that made her laugh, the kind of laugh I hadn't heard from her in months. Then he reached for her hand. And she didn't pull away. That was the moment something inside me went completely still. No shouting. No confrontation. Just silence. I watched them get into his car. And then I drove home. She came back that evening like nothing had happened. I was sitting at the kitchen table when she walked in, setting her bag down, avoiding my eyes. "We need to talk," she said. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, we do." There was a long pause before she spoke again. I'm not happy anymore." The words didn't surprise me. Not after what I'd seen. "What does that mean?" I asked quietly. She took a breath. "It means I've been feeling this way for a while." I didn't know how to say it. I studied her face, searching for something familiar. "Is this about him?" Her silence was answer enough. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said finally. It just did. I let out a short, hollow laugh. It just happened. We connected, she said, almost defensively. He understands me. He pushes me. He makes me feel alive. I finished for her. She nodded. And just like that, years of memories felt like they were being rewritten in real time. So what now? I asked. She hesitated. I think I should move out. At least for a while. I nodded again, even though every part of me wanted to say something, anything, to stop her. But I didn't. Because deep down, I already knew she was gone. The next few weeks were a blur. She moved in with him almost immediately. I heard it through mutual friends before she even told me. I stayed in the house, surrounded by things that suddenly felt. Her coffee mug. Her books. The faint scent of her shampoo on the pillow. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I had become too comfortable. Too predictable. Too safe. She had called me weak once, during an argument. You never fight for anything, she said. You just accept things. That word stayed with me. Weak. But something shifted after a while. The sadness didn't disappear, but it changed shape. It became clarity. I started looking at everything differently. Not just what she did, but what I allowed. I had ignored red flags. I had silenced my instincts. I had stayed quiet when I should have asked hard questions. That wasn't strength. That was fear. And I was done being afraid. The revenge people expect isn't what you think. I didn't scream. I didn't expose her publicly. I didn't try to ruin her life out of anger. I did something much quieter. And much more permanent. I filed for divorce. Not as a reaction, but as a decision. I documented everything. The timeline. The shared finances. The house we built together. Turns out, she had used joint funds in ways she shouldn't have. Gifts, trips, things tied to her relationship with him. Nothing illegal enough to destroy her, but enough to matter. Enough to shift things. The day we met to finalize everything, she looked different. Not happier. Not glowing like I expected. Tired. You're really going through with this? She asked. I looked at her, really looked this time. I already did, I said calmly. There was a long silence between us. I didn't think you'd fight this hard, she admitted. I almost smiled. I'm not fighting you, I said. I'm choosing myself. That seemed to hit her harder than anything else. I heard later that things with her boss didn't last. Maybe it was the reality setting in. Maybe it was the fact that relationships built in secrecy don't always survive in the open. I don't know. And honestly, I stopped needing to know. It's been a year now. The house is quieter. Smaller, somehow. But it's mine. My mornings are slower. My thoughts are clearer. And for the first time in a long time,